Hey everyone!
Hello.
Brandon, what are we doing in this video?
We are here to finally talk about the Keys to the Kingdom tour at Magic Kingdom at Disney's Walt Disney World Resort. Got to get that SEO going, everyone. But no, we've been on Sarah's going to take over here in a second. We've been on a lot of tours at Disney, different ones, but we had never taken the Keys to the Kingdom tour. So we want to talk to you guys about that, what it's about, who it may or may not be for, pricing, at least at the time of this video, food, the lunch, gluten-free, dietary issues and stuff like that, because we have some stuff to say about that. Most of this video will be very positive.
Did you give people spoiler alerts?
Oh, yeah. No, I'll let Sarah take over. Sarah, why were we there? Who were we there with? What's going on? Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom Keys to the Kingdom tour. So if you're not familiar with this tour, it is a 5-hour tour that you can book up to 60 days before your vacation. It gives you a little bit of behind the scenes, well, a lot behind the scenes.
5 hours worth behind the scenes.
Of the Magic Kingdom, just overall Walt Disney World. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about who this is for and maybe if you do or don't want to do this, especially if you don't want to go behind the scenes of the magic.
Yep.
That might be a consideration. But we went on this tour because our friend and patron Sean was in town and asked if we wanted to do this.
Yep.
He had been on it before and thought we might be interested in it, so we decided to join along.
Yeah, and we are glad we did. And before we continue, on the off chance there's any kids watching this video, parents in the room, like Sarah said, if you don't want the magic not ruined, because I don't think it ruins it at all, but how they make some of the magic, and our favorite characters and everything like that, maybe the little kids shouldn't be watching this one, just depending on how they are.
Yeah, or if you don't want to hear some of the behind the scenes things, this might be both not a tour that you'd want to take, and also maybe this is a video that you'll want to kind of skip because we'll talk a little bit about some of the behind the scenes. We're not going to give away what we saw on the tour.
No, that would take 5 hours.
Well, we take 5 hours. Also, our amazing tour guide, Brittany, said make sure not to spoil the magic and the fun for someone else who either doesn't want to know or who might take this tour down the road. So we'll kind of give an overview, but we won't spoil everything.
No, maybe 2-3 little things here and there, but it is a solid, we'll say this over and over, it's a solid 5 hours.
Yeah, so maybe we can talk a little bit about logistics. So I mentioned briefly that it can be booked up to 60 days in advance. So this is an additional ticketed experience. You will have to pay that additional price, and then you also do have to have a reservation or a ticket to get into the Magic Kingdom. So we bought the tour ticket, and then we also had to make sure as annual pass holders that we booked a reservation for the Magic Kingdom for that day. So that's the first thing. I will say in terms of price, the pricing...
Let's just get it out of the way, Sarah. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's rip the Band-Aid off for the pricing.
Well, I actually think the pricing was pretty
we talked
reasonable.
about that. We'll go into more detail.
So the price is going to vary, just like our Magic Kingdom fireworks cruise, which if you haven't checked that out, definitely
watch that video.
Check that out. The price is going to vary by season. So when we took the tour, it was in June, and our tour for both of us total, I have it down here on my phone, was $233.56 with tax.
For both of us.
Right, so it's about $116 per person. Now, we are both annual pass holders and Disney Vacation Club members, so we were able to get a discount on that. So if you...
Oh, did we?
If you are either an AP or a DVC member, you can get a discount. And it automatically applied it when I logged in and bought the ticket. That's a really nice thing. I mean, it does add up. I think we got 15% off of it. So the price will vary. It could be as low as what we paid, actually probably a little bit lower. And it could be a little bit more expensive too, depending on when you do go. So the price is going to be one consideration. We'll talk a little bit more about whether we thought it was worth it or not. And the other thing is the tour does start early in the day. So if you're not an early riser...
Not for you.
If you're Brandon...
Yeah, it was hard to get up. It was hard to get up. She'll talk about when they start, but ours was at 9:30.
Yeah, so the times do vary again by the time of year. I looked at the upcoming 60 days, and every single day it's starts every half an hour, starting at 8 a.m., all the way through to 9:30. And our tour was at 9:30 because Brandon said,
as late as can be.
As late as can
as
be.
As late as can be, and that was 9:30.
Yep.
Still early.
Still early.
Yep.
So in terms of the timing, maybe we should talk a little bit about getting to and from and giving yourself plenty of time.
Yes. You have to be there 15 minutes where they want you to be there. At most. I don't know. 15 minutes.
No later than 15
No later.
minutes.
Yeah, we'll say it like that. No later than 15 minutes before. So we had to be there by 9:15. We left from home, went to the TTC, hopped a ferry, and got in the park.
Yeah, and we made it almost right on time.
Mm-hmm.
So we both said we probably should have left a little bit earlier.
Oh, yeah.
The ferry, the monorail, those do take some time.
Yeah.
We waited on the ferry for quite a while.
Quite a while.
So do give yourself plenty of time, whether you're taking Disney transportation, whether you're taking a ride share or something else coming in a rental car from another location off property. Give yourself time. Yeah,
give yourself time. And now the location, when you do enter Magic Kingdom, I don't know the name of this building. Everyone, Sarah's about to say it, but it's off to the right.
Tony's, or Town Square Theater, which is also where Tony's Town Square restaurant is.
Okay, so yeah, Sarah says I've been in there before. I have no memory of ever going in that building. But when you walk in to the right, and then when you walk in, it's to the left then.
Yeah, we actually, and of course your mileage may vary depending on when you go. Always double check what Disney tells you when you book your tour. But we met actually at the check-in for Tony's Town Square restaurant, which was
is that what that was?
Helpful to know. Cool. So if you do need to use the restroom before your tour, there's a restroom right there.
Yep. Use the restroom, everyone, even if you don't have to.
Yes, we'll talk a little bit about restroom breaks.
Yep.
But definitely make sure to do that. We got there right at 15 minutes early. We met up with our friend John, and we all went in together to check in. I definitely would recommend, if you have a special dietary need, to go and make sure you get there early.
Should we just pull that bandage off too?
Yeah.
All right, so when you do make your reservation, I want Sarah to take over again. Do they ask you about dietary issues?
They do. It's just like making a dining reservation at any table service restaurant at Disney. So you can do the automated click your different allergies or special dietary needs like gluten, or Brandon has a lot of the top 9 common allergens and then some others.
I thought it was top 8.
The top 9, they added sesame in this last
year. Heck yeah, they did. All right, moving on.
So we added those in, and we weren't sure sort of how that would work when we got there. When we got there, they asked us to make our selection for lunch.
I'll be quiet right now.
Which, again, your mileage is also going to vary depending on your tour.
Agreed.
They do rotate around which quick service restaurants. The tour includes 1 quick service meal per person.
Included with the price.
Which is included with the price. And it's up to their schedule which quick service that's going to be. I've heard a variety of different locations, and we both joked. I was like, as long as it's not Columbia Harbor House.
Which, by the way, Columbia Harbor House is awesome. We'll just say that.
It is awesome, but it's not a Brandon-friendly place because of his fish and shellfish allergies. So we were like, as long as it's not that, we should be good to go with a menu option. And of course, what choice was it?
Well, it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that. I'm gonna take over for a second, Sarah. We get there. Like Sarah said, she's right up to this point, and she's still right going on. But we get handed menus for Columbia Harbor House, but that's it. Pick what you want. No one brought up our allergies initially. Nothing was flagged. So yeah, again, your mileage may vary, and please, already I'll say it, leave a comment below if you had better experience with an allergy issue or a food intolerance or celiac disease, something like that. But yeah, as always, we flagged the gluten, the fish, everything, and it wasn't there. Yeah, so it wasn't attached to our reservation. Nope.
So we just, again, always be our own advocates, and we always encourage that.
Be your own advocate.
It's true. So we said, hey, we do have special dietary needs, and unfortunately, this is not going to be a location where Brandon can eat safely. I don't know if it still has it. I'd have to double check the menu, but the menu actually usually recommends if you have fish and shellfish allergy,
don't eat there.
Do not eat there.
Yeah, because everything in there, I can go in the place. It's not going in won't hurt me. It's everything in there is made or touching or whatever fish and shellfish.
Yeah,
to a point. I mean,
there are people who may have airborne allergies. So that may be a situation where you would want to talk to them. So we let them know that might be a challenge for him. You know, I can always get the amazing gluten-free chicken tendies, which I got. And that was easy, but we did kind of have to talk through. The first cast member was kind of not the most helpful in that situation.
Let's just say it. No names mentioned. We loved our tour guide, Brittany, by the way.
Yeah, it was not Brittany.
It was not Brittany. Everyone, and Brittany, if you're watching this, it was not you.
Amazing.
You were amazing. But there was another cast member there. Again, no names, nothing like that. We almost never on this channel ever will call it a cast member. We just don't mention them usually if it's not the greatest. This one, to me, and Sarah has every right and should disagree with me, but don't cut this out. I thought he was rude and dismissive. Again, be your own advocate. We spoke up, and Sarah, take over, because I don't want to be too negative, because this tour was awesome.
Yeah, I always, again, be your own advocate. So we were kind of getting the vibe that things were not going to, he's like, well, we could get a pizza maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Pinocchio's. Can you do something? Like he was,
But there was another really amazing cast member there.
Forgot his
Charles,
name.
Who was super awesome.
He was awesome.
Was like, no, let's make sure we get you something that you want, that's going to be safe. So let's pull you over to the side, and we're just going to walk through some options. And I said, could you do Pecos Bills or even Cosmic Rays? Would those be potential options? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. Which one do you want? And so Brandon's like, a burger, please. And so we went through the allergy menu right on the app with Charles, talked through the allergies and said, this is what we want.
Was in charge.
Yeah, and of our days and our meals.
Well,
of your meal.
Yeah.
So he was like, no problem. We will make sure this works. He's like, what will happen is everyone else will get their food directly from Columbia Harbor House. We will go over to Cosmic Rays. We will get that food. We will ensure that protocols have been followed, and we will bring that food so it's there also at the same time, so you didn't have to wait, which was great. And that ended up working well. So we'll talk a bit more when we get to the lunch period, but definitely make sure you give yourself some time to get there early.
We should have been there a little sooner, especially because that happened.
Yeah, especially if they do not have your special dietary needs listed and you have to talk through some options. There is some flexibility there, so definitely, like we said, know ahead of time. I looked and I know the menus pretty well, so I already had a good sense of what can be made safely for both of us. And so just make sure to set yourself up for success and just go in with expectations that it's quite possible they won't have your special dietary needs.
Yeah, and again, if anyone's had the same issue or different, if it went very well for you, leave that comment below, because we are not saying it's like that on every tour.
Yeah, and our food actually turned out fine.
Which we'll get to.
So
we'll get to that.
That's the positive thing.
So
once we checked in, we did also get our headsets. So they give you like a headset with earpiece and a bag that gives you your tour time.
Little nameplate.
And then they also gave us a bottle of water. So this will probably be a pro tip that we give throughout this tour, no matter what time of year you go, but especially if you go in the summer. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
Mm-hmm. We did, and we should have done it more. So you get a bottle of water, a name tag, and a little listening device for the tour guide, the cast member, in this case, Brittany. She'll talk on her little microphone, and there you go. But they give you one bottle of water, so thank you on that. Bring your own water as well.
Yes.
Or be prepared to buy more water.
Yes, indeed. So once you get checked in, then your tour is going to start. And one of the reasons we're doing this video here at home, which we forgot to mention, is that...
They do not allow any video or photography or recording of any kind. And I think everyone in our group obeyed that. I don't want to pretend it's overkill. Like, you'll see probably pictures or video of our food when we sat down at Columbia Harbor House and all that. But in general, especially behind the scenes,
nothing backstage.
Nothing. Keep your phone or your camera. Put the cap on your camera. Put the phone in your pocket. Backstage, don't even have your phone out.
So if you're on stage, they may be a little bit more flexible if you're taking photos. But generally, you're not going to be taking photos of the tour.
No.
I snapped a few photos of our food just because I wanted to quickly show that. But
other people were too.
Yes, there were people. People taking a lot.
Yeah, no one was trying to hide it or anything. So
there were people taking photos the whole time on the front stage. But generally, you're not going to be taking photos. Definitely no video, and definitely not backstage. So that's one reason that we really wanted to do kind of a recap too, because we couldn't really do a vlog from that experience.
A vlog for that would have just not worked. If anyone else has done one out there on the YouTube, good for you. I hope it's a good video, but I don't know how that would have worked. So But yeah, so
yeah, and I'll be including some B-roll maybe from different times that we've been in the Magic Kingdom and other places. So you'll probably see a little bit of that because those are all, front of the house, so to speak.
Yep, on stage.
Yeah, on stage.
But yeah, so if we use the lingo, and at 9, on stage is everything that you see when you come in. Backstage is what normal guests, visitors don't see. Usually only cast members see that.
Correct.
But they do start promptly at your time. And
Yes.
she seemed very adamant that is 100% of the time. It wasn't just our tour. At 9:30 a.m., your tour begins.
Yeah, we were
Or for us, it
kept very well on schedule.
Oh gosh,
and
we did.
she was very, consistent with making sure to check times, making sure we're at the right place when we needed to be. So there is also a warning or a statement to cover you that says make sure you are there. If you are not there when the tour starts,
They leave without you.
They will leave without you.
Yeah, they're going to leave without you.
And you cannot pick the tour up typically. So
I would assume not. That wouldn't work. Yeah.
So our tour started. We met our tour guide, cast member Brittany.
Yep.
She was super informative throughout the whole tour. You start your tour on Main Street.
Right there.
Yeah.
And again, we won't go into too much detail, but I think everyone knows what I'm about to say. If you're even, I don't know, maybe you don't. But she brings up, or she did for us, initially, the normal Disney stuff, like all the names on the windows and everything, what those mean. And those are supposed to be like the opening credits to a movie. When you walk, before you see the castle, you walk through those 2 tunnels and there's coming soon posters about what your day is going to bring. The ground is red like it's a red carpet, et cetera, et cetera. I know a lot of people know that. But so yeah, some of the tour is very basic stuff like that for Disney fans. And then it gets a lot more detailed.
Yeah,
so.
And also they will share with you a little bit about Disney kind of lingo, besides like the front backstage.
Cast member.
And on stage cast member,
Why
but
they're
also
called,
the keys that are integral to the Disney
5
company,
keys.
the 5 keys.
Yep.
So we'll talk, and that will play into the rest of your tour. Yep. So you will be doing a lot of walking.
Do we talk about that now? Well, we'll talk about it now and at the end, probably.
Yeah, so maybe we can quickly say where we ended up going throughout the 5-hour tour. So we were on Main Street, USA. We were right in front of the hub with Cinderella Castle.
Yep.
Adventureland.
I was thinking, I'm pondering.
Behind backstage at Adventureland and Frontierland. We went to Liberty Square and had lunch at Liberty Square. Spoiler alert, we also got to go on the Haunted Mansion. And then we walked through Fantasyland.
And we went on Jungle Cruise.
I was going to talk about that a little bit more.
Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Some more spoilers. And then we went to Fantasyland, and then we went through the Utilidoors, which is technically the first floor of the park, but underground tunnels that the Disney company uses for their cast members and other types of things.
Yep.
That is, again, backstage. And then we made our way back to...
Understage.
Well, understage. And then we made our way back...
Hades was down there. No.
We made our way back to Main Street USA.
Main Street USA, yeah, almost directly where we started. Almost directly where we started. And also, literally 5 hours later, they have this thing perfected to the minute. And we'll talk a little bit about that because nothing negative again, but at times you could tell they were stalling for time a little bit and everything. But yeah, when you pay for your 5-hour tour, you're going to get a 5-hour tour.
Yeah. One question we have gotten asked is, one, do they have restroom breaks? They do. So I counted, we had 3 actual restroom breaks that were scheduled, and then 1 spot when we had lunch that we could also go to the restroom.
Yeah. So 3.5, 4.
Yeah, so they kind of time it throughout that you could have a restroom break, which was very handy and good.
Yeah,
we also during
we needed it.
One of our breaks got water, kind of bought a bottle of water.
Smart water for those electrolytes, everyone.
And some people bought snacks.
Yeah.
They bought popcorn. They were smart.
That was a smart thing to do. Get that salt in you and everything like that. And it tastes good too.
Yeah, so there is that. The other question that we got asked a lot about for this tour on social media is accessibility. So I do think we need to talk a lot about that because that, again, is going to depend on your mobility level, your accessibility needs that you might have, because it is a ton of walking.
Up hills and down hills, some very steep hills sometimes too.
So it is a lot of walking. Wear good, comfortable shoes that you are okay with both standing in for a while, that you are good in walking in, and also possibly are going to be good in the rain or anything.
If it rains,
weather.
Yeah, that was brought up too right away. It didn't rain for us. We had nary a cloud in the sky, and it that almost killed us, everyone. But Brittany was pretty adamant in a good way that barring lightning or something like that you just can't go out in. If it's pouring rain, but there's no danger, the tour is going on.
Right.
So bring an umbrella too if you even think it's going to rain.
Yeah. So bring the things that you need.
Yep.
We both wore hats. We both put on sunblock. Those were definitely very helpful because you are in a lot of direct sunlight.
A lot.
So if you're sensitive to the sun or the heat, especially during the summertime, if you have any kind of autoimmune condition where maybe being on your feet that long might be uncomfortable or not great, that might be something you'll want to think about. There are spots where you might be able to sit a little, but not a ton.
No.
A little bit. We were outside walking probably a good 3.5 hours.
Yeah, outside with the sun beating down on us.
Right.
And it zapped. I think it zapped everyone in the group. We all got through it. Came together as a team. We all got through it though.
We were a little tired by the end.
We were all tired by the end.
In terms of wheelchair or ECV accessibility, anywhere on stage was good.
I think so, yeah.
Because those are normal areas that you would be going. We were on 2 attractions. So Jungle Cruise, if you were in a wheelchair or an ECV, those could be wheeled into the boats. We went on Haunted Mansion. Those are a transfer ride. So if you can't transfer, that would be something to know about. If you have visual mobility issues or accessibility issues, it's dark. Yeah. So do know that going in. We went a different way. And so that might be a consideration too. But just know that backstage with wheelchairs and ECVs, I think would be harder. The Utilidoors, we actually saw cast members in
wheelchairs.
Yeah, so I think that area was pretty good. But the backstage behind Frontierland and Adventureland, I think might be a little more challenging. Yeah, especially with the hills and how tight some of the walkways were and everything like that. Again, and if you've been on it with a wheelchair, ECV, anything else like that, please leave a comment below for other people to read. We don't know everything about this, but I was going to say, I would shout out our friends Imaginary Lemons, Brooke and Adam.
Yes.
Have a great YouTube channel.
We were talking about that. We were talking about them during it. Yep.
I would definitely check out their channel because they do so much coverage about this topic and have tons of expertise. Yeah. So definitely check that out.
And we'll link below Imaginary Lemons. Great channel. We obviously, thankfully, we don't have an ECV or a wheelchair for us, but we love watching their videos because it's just so interesting and stuff you normally don't think about, and it's awesome to watch their videos. So anyway, we're not here to just talk about their channel, but it's a good channel. Check it out.
Yeah, so definitely if you have questions about accessibility, especially that kind of accessibility, I would reach out to Brooke and Adam. I think they would have great information for you. But by and large, we sort of saw there are pros and cons on the accessibility for this particular tour. Yeah.
We're ambulatory, and it was hard.
No, we were tired.
But we're not marathon runners either or anything like that. Well, you have. You have before, right?
I haven't done a marathon.
Oh, okay. We should have just lied to everyone. No, I've done a couple 5Ks, everyone. Anyway, so we all made it through. We'll just say that. But it is, out of 5 hours, you're probably standing for 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah. So if you have small kiddos, people who may not want to do that kind of a long-term tour, this may be a tour that you want to skip. You may want to look for something a little bit shorter or different because it will be quite a lengthy tour. We actually didn't have any kids on our tour.
No, there were no kids. About. Yeah, I really was surprised by that. It was all adults. We had 21 people on the tour. There were 21 of us. I don't know how many can go on the tour, but 21 didn't feel too crowded to me. And
I think that probably that sort of 20 to 30 amount of people is probably pretty common. I will double check and see if I can find out what the capacity is per tour. But it was a decent sized group, and I don't think I'd want any more than 30 people on a tour like that.
No, at that point, no. Yeah.
It's a lot to wrangle for the cast member. And a lot of logistics.
A lot to wrangle because there was one time where we had 4 people try to sneak on our tour. Maybe we'll talk about that because that became a running gag throughout the day because, anyway, 4 other guests quite literally lied and tried to get on the tour. So they were called out. Though,
so we did get to go on a couple of attractions, like we said, and we went on Jungle Cruise. And Jungle Cruise, we boarded on the backside where you would normally get off of the attraction. And of course, all of us had our lanyards with the tour information and a name tag. And We were told very clearly how to load and what not to do and not to do. And we were all getting in, and we were some of the last ones to get on.
But before getting in, as we were all getting on, these 4 people, I don't know, I'm assuming they were a family. We're not going to throw shade or names out there. We don't know their names. Friends, who knows who they were. But all adults, by the way, all adults.
4 random people.
4 random people come in the group with us, and a cast member right next to me stops them and says, "Are you with the tour?" And yeah, we're with this tour right here. So she didn't know, so she gets on. They get on,
but they didn't follow the rules. That's what I think started to make people realize that something was going on, because our tour guide was like, "No, don't jump over the crates. You're not supposed to do that." And then
they
people
start
were
jumping
like,
the crates.
"Who are you? You don't have any name tags. What's going on?"
Yeah. So Brittany got some help from other cast members, and they were escorted off. We've all seen people at Disney act certain ways. We're going to move on. They were not happy. But they deserve to be escorted out of there. So anyway.
So, if you're thinking of trying to sneak onto something
don't
like
sneak
that,
on
don't
a tour.
do that.
Yeah, please don't. Pay for it and go for real.
Yeah. So there is lots of mechanisms to make sure, and including when we went to the Utilidoors later. Yeah. They had a lot of mechanisms to make sure no one was getting in or out that was not supposed to be on the tour in any of the backstage areas.
Yeah.
So
it was funny.
Duly noted.
Yeah, and that joke continued through the day, even with Brittany and everything.
Yeah, everybody was laughing.
Yeah,
at the random people that tried to join our group.
Yeah, and they tried and failed. But yeah. Anyway, so where are we at? Well,
I was going to say, do you want to talk a little bit about maybe the lunch experience, and then we can highlight some of the things that we really enjoyed. Maybe talk a little bit about the Utilidoors.
All right. So around halfway through, you go to lunch, and it was at Columbia Harbor House. Yep. We went upstairs at Columbia Harbor House. And they had a section set off for us with name placards actually on the right in front of us with our names on them. So Brandon and Sarah. And our food was waiting for us. You also get a drink. I got a Coke. Sarah got a water. And it's a full bottle of Coke. It wasn't like a fountain drink Coke.
And our friend Sean had Powerade.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, he had a Powerade. Mm-hmm. He had a Powerade because Sean doesn't like water. Sean drinks some water. So Sean got a Powerade. I got a Coke. Sarah got a water, and the food is ready for us.
And we had like the allergy picks. Brandon's was prepackaged and actually
nice little folded over and everything.
Yeah, and cast member Charles came over, talked through the options, made sure we were good, explained everything. And we were good to go. Oh, and we got bonus dessert. We didn't know we were going to get.
Oh, yeah, we got really good cupcakes. Sarah didn't, but I did, and everyone else did. Sean did, everyone did. But Sarah, what did you get?
Yeah, you got a cupcake. I got the Home Free Treats allergy-friendly cookies that were prepackaged, which were good. It's fine. I got chicken tendies, so I was just happy with that.
And what did Sean get?
He also got chicken tendies.
Okay.
Just not the gluten.
Yeah, and I got a bacon burger, and it was good.
Yeah.
Fries were great. No issues. I would like to, if anyone from Disney is watching this, because I will stand by what I'm about to say. This is, though, something on the tour you need to change. 30 minutes, and they are this isn't one of those you have 30 minutes, but they really give you 40 or 40. No, they give you 30 minutes, and you're out of there. That's too short. I think it should have been at least 45 minutes, because that 30 minutes includes drink your drink, eat your food, and your dessert, and if you have to use the bathroom, wash your hands, do a number 1 or 2, whatever you got to do, that's all in 30 minutes, and they will move on without you. Or I'm sure they wouldn't. They'd probably look for you. But we were all good, but we, and I think other people, felt very rushed. And I think Disney, if you're watching this, just take 15 minutes away somewhere else and give us more 15 minutes for lunch. Food was good. No issues. We got our food that we ordered at the very beginning after those little minor issues, 30 minutes, and again, you're there right on time, and you leave 30 minutes later.
Yeah, so. I will quickly say the bathrooms at Columbia Harbor House are tiny, so there's not very many available there. Those bathrooms are going to be a little bit smaller. So the good news is, I guess, 2 things. 1, if you're at a different restaurant, this might not apply.
True.
2, we were able to take a bathroom break pretty quickly after, though, because we did Haunted Mansion. And then right after Haunted Mansion, we went to the Tangle toilets.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we? Yeah. Also, I don't want to just skip over Haunted Mansion because I want to say one thing.
Oh, yeah, I was going to quickly show these. But you can do that first.
No. No, we're still at lunch. Let's do it.
I was going to quickly
Let's
show.
Baby, let's do it.
Because we forgot to do this. For lunch, we each got, I'm holding Brandon's holding mine.
That's cool.
And they do have some notes on the back that they probably figured out what they needed, but we each got our own.
Oh. 4 gluten-free.
Yeah, I'm assuming C may have been like Charles for cheeseburger.
Let's see. There we go. Maybe.
Yeah.
Can you see it, everyone? So, these are at our table waiting for us. And these are, got these. These are the name tags.
Yep, pretty cool.
So, I apologize for jumping the gun.
That's okay. So you can quickly talk about Haunted Mansion.
No, really quick. Haunted Mansion, normal Haunted Mansion. 2 really quick things. First of all, thank you, Disney gods. Oh, my Mickey. Forever and ever and ever. And I know millions of people have seen this. Millions and millions of people. Your boy here, Brandon, had never seen this. We got to go through the servants' quarters to get on the ride. And I finally got to see the servant bells.
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
Saw something else cool, but I heard something else cool, but I don't know if we should say it.
I'm going to.
Okay, because
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But anyway, if you go through the accessible entrance, I think, so millions of people have seen these servant bells. I've seen photos of them, but if I could have taken a photo there, I would have. I love seeing it because Haunted Mansion is my favorite attraction. Oh, there's Wyatt. Favorite attraction of all time. Escape from Gringotts at Universal's up there. But anyway, loved it. And then what Sarah's talking about, I don't, maybe we've heard what we're about to talk about.
How many times have we been on Haunted Mansion?
Maybe we didn't know we were hearing it. I don't know. But Brittany told us once the stretching room is over, and we encourage everyone to do this, they will try to usher you out very quickly through the opening that opens. If you stay there. Until the last minute. Linger a little bit. The gargoyles start talking to you, saying, like, get out or something like that.
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it, no. Or something like that. So that was cool. Something new on my favorite attraction, quite literally of all time. Got to experience 2 new things, and I loved it. So thank you, Disney, for that. All right, everyone, if you see a little cut right there, we had our Disney book displayed back there, but Wyatt went up there, and our cats get priority over our books. Anyway, Wyatt says hello. But anyway, loved Haunted Mansion, always have, always will. And it was our first time ever here at Disney World seeing Hatbox Ghost. We've been to Disneyland, of course. Hatbox Ghost has been there for quite a while, but this was our first time here, and it made me exceptionally sad that I think they took out the Donald Duck chair.
They did, but I haven't told you this. It is being put on display over at California.
The chair?
Yeah.
Oh,
if you do the tour for like Walt's apartment and stuff, or his office,
that's so
there.
Cool. Okay, so
I saw someone post a photo. I was like, thank you, it's still around.
So I went on entirely too long with some stuff, but no, Haunted Mansion was awesome. Is there anything else? Because I think I know where we're going now. Is there anything else really quick? I think, or are we just going to head to the Utilidoors?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think overall, your mileage may vary. I think I've said that a million times now. We're going to turn that into a drinking game. But there's a bunch of different things that you may experience. The attractions could be different. I think they do have kind of a set attraction like experience for this, but it could be different. So just know that this is what we experienced. Where we went on this tour could be different than what you experienced. And we didn't get to ride it, but Tiana's Bayou Adventure, we finally got to see it in person. It looks awesome. They did a great job, at least from the outside, that we can tell. We can't wait to go on it and eventually talk to you guys about it. But we got to see that as well. Yeah, so. A bunch of the people on our tour tried to get Brittany to get us on it, and she was like, I don't have that much Disney magic. Not only did she not have that much magic, but the attraction was down. It was down all day. It was down anyway. So even if she would have had that pixie dust magic, it was not going to happen that day. So anyway, I think we're going to go to now what 75% of people probably take this tour for. Sarah, go. Yeah, the Utilidors. So these are... utility corridors. Yeah, these are the tunnels, as it were. What people think is under Magic Kingdom, and I guess it is under Magic Kingdom, but it is technically the ground level. Yeah, Magic Kingdom's on the second floor. Right. So that is the area where lots of things happen, where they're getting ready. People are checking in for work for the day, where things may be getting transported to and from different restaurants or locations, attractions. Basically, the ways in which people who work there, all the cast members, get to and from where they need to work.
Yeah, and so any former cast members from Magic Kingdom, obviously, if you're watching this video, you've been down there, you probably know it like the back of your hand. Still, I think it's important to remember that overwhelmingly, most people on this planet will never get to go in there, ever. So it's like a lot of jobs out there. Most people won't go on a space shuttle. You know what I mean? So it is special, I think, for a lot of Disney fans. And really quickly, if there's any little kids left watching this video, we might be saying some stuff just in case the magic might be a little not spoiled, but behind the scenes now. Because when you do go down there,
there are things that we can't unsee.
You can't unsee, but it's wonderful. We've given enough warnings, but so we saw like Cinderella and Belle walking together. Clearly Cinderella and Belle or whoever, but wearing, just workout clothes and everything like that. Characters without heads on and all that stuff. It was cool. And I'm going to let Sarah take over again, but really quickly, what impressed me most about the Utilidors, I have in the past, and I'm sure everyone has, seen photos and video probably that shouldn't have been recorded, but we've all seen stuff. I was not prepared for how big it actually was, how vast it at least appeared to me. Again, I'd never been down there before. Both of us have together and separately have many friends that work at Disney or have worked at Disney, but we don't, and we've never been down there. So Sarah, talk about it a little bit, because this is the main part, I think.
Yeah, I think if this is something that's important to you, this could be a great reason to do this tour.
Yep.
Do know that you might be a little ragged by the time you get to the Utilidoors.
Because it's at the end, and you're just like, can I go home?
They save the best for last.
They do.
But it is also a location where you do not get to stop and explore. You are on a schedule. You also have very clear places that you are allowed to be. There are no restroom breaks down there. If you really need to go,
I'm sure they'll work something out. But
maybe they'll work something out. But we were told no. Yeah. There's no bathrooms. There's no water breaks.
No.
If we go through an area, you need to keep moving. You do not get to stop. Of course, no video, no photos.
No.
So we did kind of a loop. We basically backtracked from where we were in Fantasyland all the way to Main Street, USA, and stopped a little bit along the way for information and background. Yep. We did get to go through the costuming area.
Yeah, and when we say go through it, it was 60 seconds or less. Yeah. But in that 60 seconds, it was awesome. Sarah, take it away, because I see what we're looking at down here.
Well, it reminds me of, does everybody remember the old backlot tour where you got to see some of the costuming areas where they would be sewing and creating stuff, and you would either tramp through it, or there were other parts of the backlot where you could walk through at the end. Yep. So it felt a little bit reminiscent of that, which I kind of loved. But when we walked through, and Brittany said, when you leave, hold out your hand, and I'm going to give you something. And we got a little piece of fabric.
Yeah, so fabric that they actually use there, a little swath.
Yeah, a little swatch. We got like a little tiny
this isn't working, but there we go.
What I anticipate might be Cinderella's
Does anyone
dress.
want to give me $100 for this? I will send it to you. No. I have PayPal. No. But very cool. It was very cool.
Super cute. So we got that.
Yep.
Very exciting.
And there's cars down there. There's tractors down there. Everything's down there. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm. All sorts of stuff. It's an operating, working place. So there's lots of different things. I think what was just interesting to me was seeing it and seeing all the level of detail, like the color coding for certain areas, the signage, just how much of a little kind of like hub it is for all the things that happen.
Sarah said what kind of little hub it is, I think she just said. It's big. Again, bigger than I imagined. In my imagination, I thought it was maybe one giant hallway that runs like Main Street. No, it's a complex. It feels like you're playing a first-person shooter. And does everyone remember Half-Life in Black Mesa, or something like that? It was awesome. I do have some critiques.
Yeah, I think my one takeaway is that I would have liked to have done more of what we did, like going through the costuming. I would have liked to have seen more things that were happening, and I totally get why you can't, because it is a functioning, working. People got to do the things they need to do. But I also was like, we just saw a bunch of hallways. Like, it felt like we spent a lot of time standing in a hallway and just listening to like the same stuff we heard about in the beginning, which was a little bit of a bummer.
It was a bummer. And this is, again, Brittany, if you're watching, you were awesome. However, in saying that, I'm sure most cast members would do what Brittany did. I believe, and Brittany, if you're watching, leave a comment, but I believe she was stalling for time by the end of it. That's how I read the scene. because Sarah's right. You stand a lot in these hallways, and she went over stuff we had already been told throughout the thing and just showed us pictures. And we just stood, turned a corner, and stood, turned a corner.
Well, I also do think
it was still awesome, but
it depends on your group too.
Yeah.
Like, I think because she kept saying, does anybody have any questions?
And only like 2 people
all
ever did.
Throughout the 5-hour tour, and a lot of people didn't have a ton of questions, or it was like kind of like sporadic. And so I think if you had a really active group where they were like asking a ton of stuff 2 hours before you get to the Utilidors, it might have been a different experience.
True.
So again, take a shot. Your mileage may vary.
Yeah.
Depending on
and it might. And please, please, please leave a comment. Again, we've said it 5 times, or I've said it 5. If you've been on it and had a totally different experience, we want to hear that. I really want to read that. Still, Utilidors were awesome. I'm thankful we got to see them.
It was super interesting.
It was super interesting with all the garbage they talked about, what they do down there for the clothing, the janitorial area and everything,
security, all that kind of
stuff. Literal, I want to air quote, but literal bus stops down there pretty much to take the cast members back to their cars and everything. Very cool. I just, like Sarah said, she said it better than I did. By the end of it, it was like, we're not doing anything really. And it would have been cool to go into we went into the sewing shop, maybe if they could, Disney, if you could we walk through the janitor area? Could we, I don't know, probably not. But just, again, I don't work there, but something different could have been done down there a little bit, or just down other hallways or something. But it was cool. Highest of high recommends. It was awesome.
It's still neat, and I think if you want to see that, you are going to enjoy it no matter what. I think just like everything, everyone was very zapped at this point because the heat was quite bad. The humidity was quite bad. It was really sunny. Everybody was very hot and tired by the end of it. So I feel like you and I would have had a very different experience if we did it, say, in January or February, where it would be a bit cooler, maybe a bit cloudier, or just not the same kind of humidity level.
Yeah, does everyone remember the great movie, National Lampoon's Vacation, where they pan out and there's Clark in the desert. He's taking his pants off. They're on his head. Like, that's what we felt like by the end.
It was pretty rough.
It was pretty rough. And I know for a fact we are not alone. Again, but no one got angry or ornery or anything like that. But you could just tell everyone was zapped. So these cast members that do this tour every day,
you're all amazing.
You're all amazing. I'm sure your first time was probably hard, but as you've done it over and over, and if you've ever been a cast member doing the Keys to the Kingdom tour, leave that comment below because we'd love to read it, because you guys and girls are incredible. Brittany, I didn't see her take a single sip of water somehow or anything.
I did.
Okay, so maybe she did, but she happy, answering questions, talking. I didn't see a tired
didn't look a mess on her face. We did.
yeah, she didn't look a mess by the end of it. So good job to her, and I'm sure all the other tour guides there too, cast member tour guides. So yeah, it was, by the end of it, we were haggard.
Yeah. So I guess that leads us to the wrap up.
Yep.
We've talked a lot of positives, sort of
some critiques.
No
criticisms, really, just critiques.
Overall, would you recommend this tour for someone who really loves Disney and really wants to get a little bit of behind the scenes?
Absolutely, I would. For the price, it really wasn't that expensive. You get a full 5 hours. You get food. You get dessert. You get at least a water and then another drink too. Maybe another water. Maybe a Coke. You get amazing information. I think Brittany would have been more than happy to answer any questions we had. It's just a lot of people didn't have questions. But they're very open with how some of the magic works, with how things we never thought, like how do they repair that on Jungle Cruise? Oh, it goes down. Oh, stuff like that. Yeah. It was very cool. And also I appreciated from Brittany, and again, I'm sure all the cast members, the honesty, because can I talk about the road?
Oh no.
Can I? Everyone listen up, everyone listen. Our whole lives. And I know this video is running long. I'm gonna wrap it up. But does everyone remember in what's the land called?
French Liberty Square.
Liberty Square. A lot of you watching this probably think this too. Heck, I thought it.
You're just gonna say the road of poop?
The road of poop, everyone. Because back in the day they'd have sewage and feces floating through. So the Imagineers are so detailed. This is the road of poop. I never bought it. I don't believe that. I never believed it, except when I was very young. I called foul on it. But you hear it from cast members. You hear it from documentaries. I never believed it. And thankfully, Brittany confirmed It's not true. It was never a road of poop or feces or refuse. They've confirmed it with the Imagineers, the blueprints, and everything like that. So, hashtag Disney debunk. No,
I feel like
it made me happy. I was like, I knew it wasn't true.
Well, I was going to do the classic 90s show, Fact or Fiction.
Oh, yeah, with Jonathan Frakes.
I'm like,
Captain William Riker, or Commander William
Riker. Was it fact or was it fiction? Completely fiction. We made it all up.
We made it all up, yeah. So anyway, so that was great. Anyway, it was appreciated. But yeah, overall, high recommend. It's expensive, but again, for what you're getting, it was great. Just, I have nothing real negative to say. Just know I fully echo what Sarah just said, and I just can't stress this enough for us. Everyone, all our bodies are different. What we can tolerate, what we can't tolerate. Every one of us is different. We're different. But it was a long 5 hours. And that time of year, if we were to ever do this again, it would not be at that time of the year.
No,
we wouldn't do it.
I would not do it again in the summer.
No.
That's just for us.
Yep.
You may have travel plans that's the only time you can do it. So know your family, know what kinds of things you're looking for, know what you can tolerate, know what you can handle, know what you're interested in, because nobody wants to do this tour and then be like, oh, that's not what I thought this was going to be.
Yeah.
You don't want to get spoiled.
Yeah, if you don't want to get spoiled, again, we didn't talk about, please believe us, everyone. We swear to you, our viewers. We've left a lot out of stuff we saw in this behind the scenes, the Keys to the Kingdom, especially backstage. We saw a lot of stuff, and some of it, I'm joking right now, but some of it was disturbing. It was bordering on disturbing.
Oh boy!
But it was great. It was awesome. But if you don't want to see stuff like that, or if Disney is just this for you, which is awesome, the happy place where I don't want to know how the magic is made. I just want to experience the magic. Yeah. It probably wouldn't be for you at all. But if you care about that stuff, if you're interested in that stuff, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's well worth it. Yep. So I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, I think for us, we would do it at a different time of year. Yeah. I think the value is really there. Given all that you're doing, and that includes a meal. Yes, there were some things that we would love to see maybe switched up a little bit, or just things to know about, like the special diet stuff. Yeah. But overall, I think it was a really great experience. We all had a good time. We were just really tired.
Yeah, we're really tired. And if you've made it this far in this review or in our thoughts, I don't know. Sarah has not edited this yet, so I don't know what kind of footage will be in here, but probably less than our normal videos have. So we're sorry if you had to look at our faces the whole time. Our mugs, everyone. But yeah, we both think it was well worth it. Any other last minute thoughts?
I don't think so. I think if you have done this tour, let us know what your experience was.
I want to
what you think of it, and also if you have questions, if you are thinking about this, what kind of questions did we not, like what things didn't we cover, what things would you like to know about, and would this be a tour that you're interested in going on?
Yep. Yeah. So overall, high recommends. A few critiques. I know it may have sounded like we had a lot of critiques, or I did. I didn't really. It's just the few I had were kind of big ones. But other than that, highest to high recommends. And if you want to go on it, go on it. Just know it can be tiring. So other than that, absolutely loved it.
Yeah. So with that, again, if you have questions, let us know. If you have thoughts based on your experience, also put that in there too. We'd love to hear it.
With that, we're going to wrap it up then. So we always thank our patrons on Patreon first, but because we went on a tour with one of them, Sean, thank you. Sean is one of our patrons and a friend. He's not just a patron. He's a friend of ours, as all our patrons are. But thank you to our patrons on Patreon. We just saw one yesterday. It's because of you. We can do this and everything like that. So thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you to our subscribers. Everything. Follow us on Threads, on Instagram, here on YouTube. Our Facebook page has almost 25,000 people now, so get on that, everyone. We got to get to 30,000. Anyway, go to the blog too, the classic blog. All these links will be below.
All the things.
And again, for $100 if you want to send it. I'm just kidding. Seriously. Thank you to everyone, and we know this video was very long, and we apologize.
We hope you enjoy it. We hope you found it helpful. And we'll be back soon with another video.
Yep.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.